Hey guys, sorry if you can hear my air conditioning. Obviously, I look a little different. I cut my bangs. I'm still not totally sure how I feel about it. This video is probably gonna be a little bit, like, more serious, but I'm gonna probably do my makeup while I talk. So I guess the first thing, my hair looks kind of crazy right now. The first thing was just to say, like, obviously, most of you that are subscribed have been subscribed since before I stopped posting. And then I didn't post for over a year. I'm pretty sure between the two videos was like a year and a half almost. So I did try to film stuff while I was in Germany. I guess I struggled with sort of like being known as like the girl with the camera. So that was one of the main things, and I tried to get over it, but it was just really hard. I think that the best place to start is with my foundation. Video-wise, is like, why did I start filming videos in the first place, you know? And I think that that gives us a good, my bangs look fucking ridiculous right now. I think that gives us a good, like, foundation for the fact that, for me, the beginning of YouTube videos was kind of toxic already. I started filming and started posting because Dakota was starting to get subscribers. Like, that's kind of the honest version, is I saw that Dakota was succeeding and I was jealous and I wanted to succeed too. And so, sorry I keep adjusting my camera. I started making videos because we sort of had this like joke agreement for a long time that if one of us started to get like famous, that we could clout chase off each other. Ever since I was little, and I don't know if this says something about my personality, but ever since I was little, like, I wanted to be, like, I honestly wanted to be a YouTuber since I was little. I watched a lot of Sky Does Minecraft. I watched a lot of Dan and Phil. I went to 2 of their 3 tours, one of them being last year. But I've always loved YouTube. And so seeing Dakota succeed was really hard for me because it was something that I had always wanted for myself. And I think that I sort of condemned myself in that way, like, by choosing to be jealous. And so I was posting all the time because all I wanted was to win. Like, it became competitive for me almost. And then when I realized that I wasn't going to be that noticed, I guess, I started to give up. And so I stopped posting as much, and when I did post, there wasn't really a lot of passion behind it. I also was constantly trying to imitate, like, the way that other people edited. Like, I didn't have any idea what it meant to be, like, me online. I don't know. Long story short, I didn't know who I was. I still kind of don't. Obviously, I'm still working on it. I'm 21. Nobody knows who they are. I don't know. I kind of just lost the, like, the drive for it because I wasn't winning. Like, and I know that it's not a competition, but my brain just kind of viewed it that way. And so I went to Germany, and I had told myself when I was leaving, like, oh, this is gonna be such a great opportunity for me to have, like, something interesting to talk about. Also, this lighting is really bad. So, like, I was like, yes, this is gonna be awesome. This is, like, something that people are interested in, you know? Like, a lot of people study abroad. I could easily just be like, you know, like, study abroad diaries type beat. And so then I had sort of crafted, after I'd lost all my drive for posting and for, like, social media and whatever else, I had then crafted this, like, pressure on myself. I bought this, you know, like, $600 camera that sat in a closet for a year because I thought that I was going to go to Germany and I was going to make it big. And then because I had exacted all of this pressure onto myself, I didn't do anything. Like, my first, like, 3 or 4 days in Germany, my mom had to, like, look up restaurants near me because, like, I landed in the Frankfurt airport. It took me 2 hours to figure out how to get the trains to Heidelberg, where I was living. I got to where I was living. It wasn't quite what I had been led to believe. My entire apartment was, like, I don't know, it was really small, like, unbelievably small. I got there, I didn't have any sheets, I didn't have any pillows, I didn't have anything. I plopped on the bed, I used a winter coat as a pillow and a jacket as a blanket, and I slept for, like, a day. I would wake up here and there. I didn't have a shower curtain, I didn't have any toiletries. I showered and, like, had to just stand and drip dry. I didn't eat for 2 or 3 days. And I remember texting my mom being like, I don't know where to eat. I'm so scared. I don't know anyone. Like, I don't know what to do. And she, like, found the Starbucks around the corner and was like, go here and get something to eat. It's gonna be fine. And I already had a lot of trouble being by myself because I've never been in a position, like, my family has always been really good and really supportive. And I've never been in a position where I just, like, had no one to lean on. Fast forward a little bit, and I've been in Germany for a few months, and I'm making a lot of friends, but now I've sort of involved myself in this, like, romantic, not romantic, I don't know, this, like, situationship from hell. And so then my self-esteem took a blow. I was not wearing the clothes that I would normally wear. I was not acting the way I would normally act because I wanted this man to be in love with me. He was never going to be in love with me. I don't know if he is, like, in a mental state or a place of mind to love right now. I hope he gets there. I really do. Anecdotes aside, like, I, at some point, gave up on the idea of, like, filming and posting. I needed to use this year to just figure out who I am. And the funniest part is that, like, I didn't. I think that that was a really good decision on my end to just be. And I think that that was a good time for me to also kind of reflect on my feelings about posting and social media and, like, this sort of deep-seated envy that I've always had of people close to me. Like, everyone's always freer than me, everyone's prettier than me, everyone's thinner than me, everyone's, like, more successful than me, it comes easy to them, etc. I kind of, like, was taking, like I said, the time to sort of try to figure myself out without the, like, watchful eye of the internet and without the pressure of, like, being the YouTuber of the trip, you know? Not that I was a YouTuber, but you know what I mean. And, like, even now, kind of looking back, I am not that person anymore. Which is also kind of weird for me to come to terms with, because when I think about my year in Germany, hardships aside, like, situationship aside, everything else, I think that even though I don't connect with that person anymore as much, that's still the most, like, me that I've ever felt. I have always struggled with feeling like I've been pulled in a lot of different directions. Growing up with, like, divorced parents is hard. And I've always grappled with, like, kind of feeling like I can never do it right. Because no matter what I choose, somebody's always gonna feel let down. I think that that was also part of why it was so important to me to just experience that year, because for holidays and stuff, like, I couldn't be there, and I got to just, like, not have that on my shoulders. There are, like, so many reasons that I didn't film anything. I was anxious. I had a low sense of self-esteem. I, etc., etc., etc. But also, I didn't want to. I was coming at it from the wrong direction. I was still coming at it from, like, people will be so interested to see what I was doing in Germany. Like, this is how I'm gonna make it big. And that's just never the way to come at it. When I was coming back from Germany, I had accepted that I didn't want to post anymore. I still film sometimes for fun. I have a video that's, like, unlisted, that's like a Halloween get ready with me. If you want me to publish it, just, like, let me know in the comments. I can make it public. I think it's a pretty okay video. But I just had come to terms with the fact that I wasn't gonna post anymore, and that was gonna be fine, and, like, content creation just wasn't my path. I came back feeling like I knew who I was, which was obviously not true, but I came back feeling like I know who I am, I know what I'm getting into, like, I'm leaving this time of life where everything was uncertain to go back to the place, like, to home, where I know how things work, I know who people are, like, I know what's going on. And then it wasn't that. And I think that I have spent a lot of the past year, basically since coming back, trying to force things to be how they were before I left. And it didn't work, and that's part of why I have been kind of down for quite some time. So we're now in, like, phase 3. Phase 1 is I start posting videos, I am, like, editing on my phone, I'm loving it, but my motivation is jealousy and, like, greed. Like, I want to be famous and I want to be better than, like, people I know who are successful. I want to be doing, not better than, but I want to be doing just as well. I want people to care about me that much. I want people to comment how I'm so pretty, and, like, you know, it's rooted in jealousy. Phase 2 is I go to Germany. I've kind of lost motivation, but I'm still going to try to force myself to do it. And then I realize that I just don't want to. So I don't. Now we're in phase 3. This is a 4-phase process, I'm deciding. Now we're in phase 3 where I'm sort of deciding that, like, I'm ready to come home. I'm ready for things to be back to normal. I'm ready to be back in my comfort zone, and, like, I'm ready to be done with the unknown, kind of. And then as I'm coming home, I get back, and all of the people that, like, I'm excited to see are different. And I'm also different. And that's one that I'm still not over. You know, I got back at the beginning of August a year ago, so I've been back for 10 months. And I'm still, like, I haven't come to terms with the fact that the people who were my best friends when I left aren't really my best friends anymore. Weirdly, the only person in my life who I feel like has been consistent is Dakota, but one of my best friends when I left had been in this, like, long-term relationship, and that's kind of just how we knew each other, was, like, who she was in this relationship. And the relationship ended while I was in Germany. I think the fact that I wasn't there for her the way that I wanted to be, and that I didn't get to witness her change coming out of the relationship as, like, a gradual thing, really affected our friendship. I felt like I came back and I felt like she was kind of a different person at that point. Sorry, I'm trying not to cry on my mascara. I know this is kind of awkward. I don't know. I don't like crying, but oh well. I felt like I came back and I was a different person and she was a different person, and neither of us got to, like, be there for the other while we were changing. So it was like we left and we were on the same page, and we came back and we were, like, over here. Or I came back and we were over there. On the other side of that, my other best friend, who really was my best friend all through college, had been there that whole time. And when I left, they weren't super close. Like, they were obviously friends, but I think when I left, they got closer to one another. And when I came back, it was like, I felt like my two best friends had replaced me with each other. On top of the one friend, like, going out of that long-term relationship, she was now kind of, like, in a different relationship with this guy who I just, like, had never met. I didn't know him. I didn't really know anything about him, which obviously is none of my business in the long term, but it did kind of feel like I had sort of been pushed out of the loop. But I know that it was, like, a mutual sort of lack of communication. And then my other best friend had been single the whole time I had known her, and we had kind of been, like, single together. And then I came back, and now she's in a relationship. And when I had left, I had been the one to, like, do everything with her, the one to take her everywhere. Like, we saw each other all the time. And I came back, and I felt like she was always either seeing this other friend or her boyfriend, who I also didn't really know. And so, I don't know, coming back was hard because it felt like all of my friends had moved on, even though I was still, like, clinging so tight to what I thought I knew. And so that's sort of phase 3, I'm crying all the time. Phase 3 was kind of just feeling like I didn't know anything, and I didn't know anyone. And I know that's part of growing up, that's part of life. I always see stuff that's like being a woman in your 20s is basically like losing all your friends. Now I feel like when I finally started to, like, get used to those new relationships and how things had changed, and I had started to kind of just, like, come to terms with it, everybody leaves. After finally, like, becoming okay with the way that everything was changing, it changed again. And I've always had, like, abandonment issues. I've always had issues with change. I know why. So I finally came to terms with, like, the way that things were changing. And then everyone left. The one friend who I'd finally, like, understood the new relationship is moving for her master's. The other friend who I never really got to understand the new relationship moved back home and, like, to a few other places for a few different reasons in December. And so, I don't know. I then had to kind of deal with the fact that, like, it felt like everyone was leaving me. So I know that it wasn't intentional. I know that they weren't, like, leaving me. Now we're in phase 4, like I said, which is, I thought really long and hard about starting to post again. Like, months long and hard. And I think that that decision kind of came about by, like, the decision to just act was because I graduated college. And graduating college kind of made me feel like I had no purpose. I got my degree. I didn't know what to do with it. I'm working at a restaurant. I don't feel like I have any friends. And the friends that I do have left or are leaving. So, you know, I felt purposeless. And I felt like I had no one to talk to. Obviously, I have Josh, but it's not good to kind of put all your eggs in one basket. Like, I can't have all of my gratification come from my relationship, and I also can't have all of my gratification come from, like, my parents, you know? And so I decided I wanted to start posting again, but this time it was not out of jealousy or out of, like, the desire to succeed. It's just been out of the desire to feel seen, kind of. I started filming again because I've been really lonely, because everyone left, and because I feel like I don't have a purpose in life. sounds dramatic, but it's kind of just the fact of the matter. It's hard to explain the feeling to somebody who's never had it. I think I just decided that like this was the time to do it because it's authentic. We're summing up because I think my makeup's almost done. All I have left to do is a little lip. But I stopped filming because I felt like I wasn't doing it for the right reasons and because I needed to know who I was. And I have started filming again, and I'm starting to take it a little more seriously because I feel like I am starting to know who I am. Obviously, I gave myself these fuck-ass bangs, but I mean, I don't hate them. Like, now that I've done my makeup, I think they're kind of cute. I think they're pretty much what I was going for, except they're a little choppy, but I'm seeing my hairstylist aunt in a week, so, but I have started filming again, and I've started posting again because I feel like it's a good time, you know? I feel like, obviously everybody wants to succeed. I still want to succeed. Like, if I could make a job out of it, that would be awesome. But I've stopped viewing that as the goal, and I've started viewing the goal as, like, being proud of myself, being proud of what I create, being proud of what I do, and being proud of who I am. And so, in a time that's been really turbulent, and like a year, or I guess 2 years, because I'm counting Germany in that, where I've kind of felt really uprooted all the time, I feel like this is something that could be constant. I don't know what else to say. I am filming again and posting again, I guess because I feel like it's time. Oh, and we're gonna call it a day. So, thanks for watching. Like I said earlier, comment down below if you want to see the video that I made for Halloween. Like and subscribe. Thank you for being here. And there was something I was gonna show you real quick. Analytics. Yeah, so just wanted to say, if you can see that, 78% of the people watching this are not subscribed to me. So if you like the video, subscribe, help me make more. I told myself when I hit 2K, I'll buy a mic or a light. Because I don't, like, you know, I'm gonna invest intelligently. But thanks for watching. If you have anything else that you want to know, feel free to comment. I'll probably respond to some of them. And do things for you. Love you. Bye.